Alright, let's go! It's grand finals time for the king of battles. We've got Kaisi Gaming's REYNOR in the bottom left side, and it's SERRAL in the top right. Finland versus Italy. And of course, yeah, these guys are both beasts. They're both massive powerhouses. Kaisi Gaming for REYNOR. REYNOR, the more dynamic player, I would say, in terms of bigger risk-taking. More aggressive. When he first burst onto the scene, he was great with his Zergling run bys. I mean, even back when he wasn't, 2014 or whatever it was, DreamHack Valencia, when he was like 14, 13, whatever it was. I don't know. He was like 13, I think, and he got top 8 at that tournament, doing some awesome Ling run bys and stuff. It was beautiful to see his rise into the scene, and in the last few years, of course, has become a dominant force to be reckoned with. So, of course, current world champion, SERRAL, and he did barely defeat REYNOR 4-3 at Katowice, the previous tournament to this, which wrapped up the previous year. So this is the first big international event of 2022, and its season that, of course, will end early February, March 2023 at Katowice again. So SERRAL's the reigning world champ. REYNOR was the previous world champ, but it was a very close fought grand finals that could have gone either way. Now, REYNOR, of course, he's been just flying through this tournament, countering everyone every which way. SERRAL, he's also looked very, very good, of course. I mean, when you have to get through Maru and you do it the way he does it, you can't blink at that. You can't second guess it at all. REYNOR, of course, does make games super exciting, though. Let's be real on that. Dude, like REYNOR Maru, oh my god, that game in the group stage was incredible. I think entertainment factor, you know, REYNOR is that guy, he's kind of the people's champion because you know it's going to be a bit of a brawl most of the time. But SERRAL's the guy who, when he wins, he can be, it's a bit more controlled. It's a little bit more of that, you get that feeling of like, was this even fair? It's not quite Rogue level because SERRAL doesn't gamble as much as Rogue to just bot people. But definitely, REYNOR is a guy who plays a bit more by feel. SERRAL, you combine his planning with his just super methodical transitions, his excellent, excellent late game play. He doesn't have the same weaknesses as REYNOR, where REYNOR falls off drastically in late game in Zerg vs Terran, only really against like Maru. It's only really against the top of the top, but against the top of the top, you see this like sharp decline in his ability to perform in the late game. SERRAL, I would say, has been outclassed by Maru a couple times in recent memory in the late game. Not only in their series in this tournament, where there was that one game. It's always on Hardwire. Basically, it's just on Hardwire. Maru beats SERRAL in the late game. I mean, it happened at Katowice as well, where it was a Ghost Mech game, which I think was also Hardwire. It was Hardwire in this tournament earlier. Yet, so maybe there's just one map which is the weakness. It looks like, okay guys, this is cool. REYNOR has gone Roach Warren and he's doing a Ling Flood, but he's skipping the Baneling Nest. So this is kind of greedy that you're skipping the Baneling Nest, but because he's being so forward aggressive, it's okay. And he finds SERRAL sneaky Banelings. Ooh, great catch. SERRAL making Banelings at home right now. He's making 4. Oh, he's got sneaky Banes here as well. Now, he's going to try and run those into the main, interestingly enough. Third base is under assault. REYNOR gets some damage. Will not be able to get the kill on that. Very crisp Baneling morph timing here. He's going to run these Banes in, but ooh, not the best angling on the Banes. And good. Oh, REYNOR! Oh, REYNOR messed up a little bit. Gave an opportunity. SERRAL a little too slow to capitalize. Only got 3 drones. Still good for him. And of course, those 2 Zerglings converting, getting 1 more drone. REYNOR's already up about 8 workers. SERRAL's already up about 8 workers. REYNOR's going 7 roaches. But I think he's going to fake push. He's going to move out, and he's going to get an over response from SERRAL. And historically, SERRAL has a big issue in this scenario because he'll make mass units being really worried about the roaches, and then he won't counterattack. And that's how REYNOR beats him in the past. So let's see if the same thing happens. SERRAL has not seen these roaches yet. They're not even fainting. That's really interesting that REYNOR not going for that fake aggression that I think he so often scares SERRAL with. But look at that. SERRAL sees it. I don't think SERRAL's worried. SERRAL's already got his Roach Warren finishing. He should be building a few more Overlords because Overlords do give you buffer. SERRAL just built more drones. I mean, that's way too greedy. I guess because he's got Banelings, he knows he can surround the Roaches with his Zergling mass and then just use his Banelings to keep back the enemy Zerglings of REYNOR. But man, zero respect for that. I think he saw the drone going to build the Evo. SERRAL with a fantastic read and not letting himself get baited into building extra safety units. He builds 5 roaches now just to have something going for himself in that regard, a little bit of extra safety. And goes straight back to drones. Baneling Nest gets added by REYNOR. REYNOR's going all in. REYNOR's on hatch tech. He's going to go +1 range. Roach Bane all in. Guys, REYNOR is doing the jankiest build I have ever seen in my life. This is the jankiest shit I have ever seen. Who the hell? He's gonna, and now he's going back to drones? Oh, REYNOR, make up your mind. REYNOR, I don't know what REYNOR thinks he's doing right now and why he made a Baneling Nest, guys. That is total nonsense if you ask me. He's making defensive Banelings to deal with the Zergling run-bys of SERRAL? And now he's just playing a Roach macro game from slightly down on the drones, but he's droning hard to catch back up. This is a bizarre adjustment. I haven't seen this before. He's just saying, you know what? Those lings are going to be annoying to deal with, so I'm going to make Banelings just to deal with a backstab. Not every day you see someone open up an entire tech tree just to defend a run by of leftover units from the early game, but yeah, it keeps him safe. Oh! Well, it pays off. Oh my god, SERRAL running in, headbutting. And that was about 20 Zerglings there for one Baneling. Very nice trade now. SERRAL does kill a Roach there. SERRAL's behind on the drone count. He's going fast to Spire. SERRAL right now, I love that REYNOR is posturing here with a handful of Roaches. This is the most REYNOR thing ever. He's like, I have 9 Roaches. Yeah! And SERRAL's there with like 16 Roaches and he's like, oh god, it's an attack, oh. Behind it, REYNOR's being so greedy, man. He's like 4th base, OV speed, 2nd Evo chamber, Roach speed. It's all good. Now, the one thing is, he doesn't actually know that he's up against mutas from SERRAL. SERRAL is just looking for the handful of mutas. He's going what I call pansy mutas. It's the safe mutas. You very rarely see mass muta because the Europeans love this like solid Roach setup. So SERRAL's going to be like maximum 8 mutas, probably like 6. And he's just going to use them to kill Ravagers, pick off Overlords, and deny map vision. It's going to be especially good because REYNOR is loading up 2 Roach drops, which if you don't have those mutas, can be really annoying to deal with. But with the mutas, you'll be able to shut those down. I'd say tech-wise, this does favor SERRAL, but... Wait, where's this plus... Did he forget +1 or accidentally cancel? Wait, what the hell? How is SERRAL's +1 so late? Did he cancel that? Did he accidentally cancel his +1? That is ridiculously late, guys. He's like 2 minutes behind on the upgrades, maybe more. Oh my god, that's very nasty. Now, he does see the empty 4th base. His own 4th is almost up. Similar workers for both sides. They're both going up into 76 workers. Wow. I think this favors SERRAL because his mutas will get control, and I think REYNOR's going to have to turtle up. He's going Hydra Den right now. So he's like, oh yeah, there might be mutas. We'll go for the Hydras. Did he see the Spire? Oh, he did see it with this Overseer. So that's why he's dropping the Hydra Den. He's not going to be surprised by the mutas at least. And it is indeed only 6 mutas. Oh, ultra conservative. I mean, this is SERRAL down to a T. He's like, no, they're not very good units, so you don't want to build too many mutas. Just a few for the map control. I mean, obviously that's nice. Bam. Overlord and 4 Roaches inside. Not too bad, mate. Extra gas going down now. REYNOR, yeah, a Lurker Den. I wouldn't, where's the Infestation? I'm surprised he's not going Infestation. Overlord's getting cleaned up. I don't think SERRAL has a Roach timing available to him because he hasn't even started +2. So if he does, it'll be maybe a 1-1 Roach timing, but he has such a good Roach advantage right now, but he can't really use it. I really feel like SERRAL, he's had a big lead. Imagine, he could have been maxed out even 30, 40 seconds ago fighting against a 170 supply REYNOR. REYNOR with a cute Baneling drop gets intercepted by Queens. 2 Zerglings run in. Roach Ravager, he's just going to bile down the Overlords, gets 2 of them. Unfortunately, SERRAL only has 4 Ravagers, and the Hydras in the back will do decently in this kind of choked up fight. But man, those biles are vicious. The biles really are going to pay dividends in this sort of choked up area. That Evo chamber does go down, but it was not upgrading right then. Remember, REYNOR has 2-1 versus just +1 upgrades. SERRAL's upgrades do suck right now. They are not good. This is not the upgrades you'd want for the finished player. He does have more units. Is it going to work out for him though? REYNOR's doing a good job of dodging the biles, moving in, moving out. REYNOR just fighting for survival. He needs to keep this hatchery alive. If he loses this hatchery, SERRAL will take a massive lead. SERRAL's timing attack is not going to be able to overwhelm. The Hydras are still in the back line. 8 Hydralists, 7 Hydras there, just dishing out the hurt. SERRAL has to back off and regroup for the moment. REYNOR's going to try and chase him down. SERRAL a little bit sloppy with his unit control right now. Oh, he's splitting those Roaches off as a run by, I see. Okay, he takes a decent Roach trade on that bottom side. You can see some interesting patrol paths from the Overlords there, of course, made to dodge biles. Mutas are still going in and being as annoying as they can. SERRAL going to see what he can grab, but Hydra's are nearby. It's not too much. 64 drones for SERRAL, who, of course, did take some Baneling Zergling damage during that. Down against 69. REYNOR does believe in the power of memes, for those who don't know. REYNOR does not have a hive, though, guys. He's playing just Lair Tech, Roach, Hydra, Lurker, Survival. I think he realized that SERRAL might just try and overwhelm with the momentum, but SERRAL only now starting +2. How are his upgrades so late, man? Ooh, the Roach Ravager Lurker coming on forward. The Roach Ravager there trying to find the angles. If he fights out of range of Lurkers, it's good for SERRAL. His mutas are going to rotate around the left side and see if they can find something, maybe just hit the gas. If you keep these mutas alive, you can just keep picking off gases and drones here and there is really nice. Just cannot fight in range of the Lurkers. SERRAL doing a great job of avoiding the Lurkers for now. Nice biles to break REYNOR's combat line. SERRAL's mutas, as I said, you just click them on an extractor, pull it back. As long as you're not losing him, the bounce damage will pick off drones steadily. Good Roach run by for REYNOR. Gets intercepted. Great multitasking on both sides. SERRAL's hive is almost here, so I think SERRAL's going to go straight for 2 or 3 Vipers. And he's going to say, look, I don't even have a Lurker Den yet, but if I can just get some Hydras out, that'll some Vipers, that'll be huge. He's building Hydras, which has got to be a mistake. There's no reason for him to have Hydras in his army right now because he doesn't have any upgrades for them. Roaches, Ravagers, Vipers are what will hold back REYNOR's army. Remember, REYNOR's hive is not finished. His hive is. SERRAL's hive is done, but he's just trying to hang on right now. REYNOR is doggedly pushing in here. And those Lurkers represent such a threat, even though it's only 3 of them. Roaches on the right side skirmishing. SERRAL losing that engagement, does pull back. Mutas here, trying to get damage done on the rally. Oh, one Muta does fly into the Hydras. Bit of a mistake from SERRAL. SERRAL's biles are holding on well, but if anytime he gets baited into the Lurkers, it is rough. There's no anti-air! No anti-air for REYNOR! The Mutas will reign supreme here, but can REYNOR get damage done in the meantime? Right side gets defended and crushed by SERRAL, but his left side is looking very fragile, even though the mutas will eventually deal with it. Not if they get corrosive biled. 2 of the mutas die to bile. REYNOR is going to be able to trade out pretty darn well. And remember, he killed another 6 workers during this. He still has a 10 worker advantage. He gets some of these units out of there. Units lost is in the favor of REYNOR. Now, if REYNOR can get a 5th base, he's going to be looking great. His own hive is up. We've got 3 Vipers coming out for SERRAL, so he's going to stick with Roach, Ravager, Viper. 2 mutas still being really annoying, but some Hydras mixed in. They've only got muscular augments. They do not have grooved spines, so neither player really affording much Hydra upgrades at all. The Roach Ravager is trying to defend. A few Hydras coming in for REYNOR. Remember, Hydras are very fragile. These 2 mutas will get cleaned up, and finally SERRAL, at least he has one less thing to worry about microing. When you have 5 mutas, it's kind of a pain microing it. When you have 2, it's almost not even worth the actions, APM, and attention it takes. The Vipers are here a little bit too late, but attacking into a choke point, not going to be good enough there for REYNOR. Now Roach is on the right side for SERRAL. I'd love to see SERRAL actually do some run-bys, some counterattacks, some backstabs, but of course SERRAL is such a defensive player. REYNOR's the one who's been dominating this map for most of this game. SERRAL is sitting there like a bloody, maybe not a sea cucumber, but definitely a sponge. You're looking at it, you're like, is that even alive? And you're like, technically, yes. It doesn't look it in terms of its activity, but my God, can it absorb a beating? And that is exactly SERRAL's state, dude. He's like a bloody sea sponge, sits under the ocean, absorbing everything the world throws at it. REYNOR, on the other hand, is an angry crab that's looking for some fucking matter that it can consume. He's running around, nipping at things angrily, ripping the arms off other crabs that step in his territory, so he has mating rights. REYNOR is always busy, always active, and looking for the fight. And because he's got that forward position, he's constantly having a worker advantage, which means he's banking up more money. Okay, Roach Hydra coming on in. Upgrades are even now, with REYNOR's +3 a little bit faster, despite the hive coming up later. The Viper count is already maxed on energy, though. SERRAL, I think, a little annoyed probably that there's no Lurkers for him to abduct. He's like, dude, where are the Lurkers? I want to abduct some units and get some value kills. SERRAL's worker count does suck, though. He's got his own Lurkers out. He doesn't have upgrades for them finished. He's making 1 of them. SERRAL's so broke. Finally, he builds 5 drones. I mean, he's got to feel so starved for cash. So I'm just sitting here like, yeah, man, where is your money? Like, you got to get something going here. His 5 roaches will deal with this 1 roach. 1 roach comes in, vomits on the hatchery a few times. They say, stop disrespecting our house. Do kill that roach. Okay, remember, guys, finally the second Hydra upgrade comes in for REYNOR. So they're now 6 range. And he's even adding more drones. He's adding spores and spines around as well. So he's just making it harder and harder for SERRAL to do any run-bys to him. Oh yeah, go for it. Blinding Cloud on this army with a flanky flank. Oh, SERRAL's flank a bit slow. SERRAL Whoa! Oh, he got surprised because there's a roach attack on the right side, which meant this army got isolated. He was too busy worrying about that. Oh, REYNOR taking a pretty awesome fight, but he does step into the concave. And this is where you just abduct anything you can. Ravages, Hydras, whatever. REYNOR, so conservative. Dude, you know energy's free, right? Grab all the Hydras. Kill them. SERRAL playing so defensive right now, man. And look at that. He goes to the Watchtower, puts a changeling on it, and pulls back to his corner. Honestly, I think the previous sponge analogy was incorrect, guys. He's a hermit crab. REYNOR's a Chad King Alaskan crab that wants to go out there and fight! Oh! But sometimes if you piss off the hermit crab, it does poke its little head out and it nips you right in the schlong. That was a vicious wave of lurker spines there. Maybe now SERRAL might finally move out of his side of the map. He is the master of just defending, dude. He is the master of just hanging out and defending and surviving and slowly taking those more efficient fights. And yes, he was behind earlier, but now he's 1,000 resources more ahead. And who's going to win the next fight? It's whoever can kill the Vipers first. If you abduct their Vipers, you hold position your Hydras and you wreck them. Right now, this is just Roach Ravager. These are all expendable units that SERRAL doesn't mind exposing to risk. He's got a Lurker that he's trying to harass with. And that should do pretty well there, but it will attack the spine by default. So you've got to shift click it on the drones if you want to kill the actual important units. Roaches and an Overseer easily clean this up, but here comes an actual army pushing down the right side. Can SERRAL defend the left with just a pack of Roach Ravager? Ooh, okay, gets a Viper! He just killed a Viper with Corrosive Bile. Ooh, talk about Omega discount sale. Oh man, the Blinding Cloud though is ruining him, but he's coming back with his own units. He's already lost a lot of his units. More Hydras coming in as well. Oh man, SERRAL still does not have any Hydra upgrades. Oh no, he's realized now. He's like, where the hell are my Hydras? SERRAL has forgotten his +1 upgrade, his +2 upgrade, and now his Hydra upgrades. He's rebuilding 7 Vipers after losing every Viper in that fight and 11 workers. Remember guys, SERRAL's economy was already looking pretty bad. Did he deny the mining on this base? Yes, but he didn't kill any actual drones, or very few. The drones can go back to mining as these lurkers get cleaned up. REYNOR had room to breathe there. Apparently he traded a little worse overall, but the extra workers just tell me that, like, at any moment, this can go terribly for SERRAL. He spent his whole gas bank on these next 7 Vipers. He finally has the Hydras building. And if he can get those upgrades, maybe they can actually kill the Vipers of REYNOR, who knows? But REYNOR definitely has a lot more lurkers on the field. 10 versus 3 coming out. SERRAL is making 3 or 4 more. So he's trying to build that lurker count. This is going to be a technical battle of who is the better late game Zerg. And I feel like in the last few run-ins, it's been REYNOR. That being said, I can't remember how late game went at Katowice when they played each other. I actually can't quite remember. I remember the games were wild and messy and scrappy, but I feel like there's been a few games in recent history where REYNOR's outplayed him in Viper Lurker. And let's see if that's the case, or has SERRAL figured it all out? Abducts plus hold position on the Hydras to kill their Vipers is where the money's at. Who's going to pull it off? Roach Ravager attacks in the bottom right side. Just 1 or 2 lurkers ain't going to be enough there. It does take those out. SERRAL. And actually, that's pretty damn nice, man. Ooh, he might be able to kill the hatchery right now. This is huge. I don't know if the Vipers actually traded yet on the left side. I don't think they did during this. Nope, still just standing off. The Roach Ravager, gotta kill the hatchery, bro. Does end up killing the hatchery. Drones will just transfer to the next base, but I think that was an effective run by for SERRAL. If he can keep on doing this, where you just escalate it, bring another 10 roaches, overwhelm, kill another base. If you can be the one acting on these counterattacks, you can see you get damage. This time, it's REYNOR who sent more units. So he's going to get damage. Oh! REYNOR drops Parasitic Bombs. SERRAL showing Florencio spreadies. The micro of the not gods right there. Oh no, that was a Florencio spready if I've ever seen one. He did not spread at all. Luckily, he's got Transfuse and Vipers regen over time, but he did actually abduct and kill the Vipers of REYNOR. So 3 Vipers have gone down for SERRAL, 4 for REYNOR. So overall, he's winning that fight. He's still got 7 out, and most of them are healthy once again. Roaches and Lurkers pushing in here for REYNOR. A wild poke there, just trying to threaten. His army moves up on the left side of the map, and oh, big abducts do come in. The Lurker Hydra will slay the Roaches of REYNOR. REYNOR's seeing if he can just kill the hatchery with a crazy engagement. If he targets the hatchery, he still might get it. but it's close. Oh man, SERRAL accidentally attacked his own extractor there, I believe. A little bit of a mistake for him. Trying to come forward and clean up these lurkers. He keeps the hatchery alive on the right side though. The onslaught will not end. REYNOR using that extra bank here to just flow over the top. There's not much support for these lurkers, and with the overseers and the spread of Roach Hydra as well as his own lurker, I think he's gonna barely break the back of SERRAL on the right side of the map. Then he does. The left side, SERRAL holds, but the right side is being ransacked. That base will fall. And remember, there is nothing on REYNOR's side of the map right now. Not a single lurker run by, anything like that. I feel like a single lurker or a few roaches could have done a lot to distract him, but SERRAL just behind for way too long on the income. Very similar workers lost, but down 60 supply, and that just shows how much the mining was constantly in REYNOR's favor for pretty much this entire game. Beautiful, beautiful play there by REYNOR, constantly all over the map, controlling it and dominating it. I do have to check really quickly, guys, what happened to SERRAL's +1. Did he cancel it at some point, or did he just somehow forget to start it? Because I don't know if I've ever seen SERRAL play a normal build and take +1 range that late. I think with his opening and the way he got ahead in many regards, if he had his +1 at a decent timing, I guess he did delay the Evo to adapt to the scenario he was in, because he knew REYNOR had gone an early Roach Horn, so he's like, okay, I need this for safety. So it wasn't adapted timing on the +1, but from when if he started it straight away, it would have been fine. Because you can see the Evo is only finishing here. But then maybe SERRAL thought he started it, and he just didn't have the gas or something. So yeah, he goes Lair instead of starting +1. He should have gone +1 first, probably. Or at least with the next 100 gas. And it just goes minutes without starting it, because SERRAL's so used to having his Evo and upgrade going so much earlier. And he's building roaches, he's doing all sorts of things. And it finally occurs to SERRAL. Oh my god, after roach speed and spire. Oh my god, and he starts it at 650. That is an absolute disaster. And I think that's a big reason why SERRAL, despite playing so many things otherwise so well in the early stages, was not able to finish REYNOR with his big roach timing attacks. That was massive. That really hurt SERRAL in this game. Game 1 goes to REYNOR. All right, a rough start to the series here, but going on to Pride of Altaris, it's Esports SERRAL in the bottom right. Going up against the greedy Italian, going hatch first on the gold. Surprise, surprise, Kaiser Gaming's REYNOR. He never plays afraid. He never plays afraid. REYNOR just not. The thing is, he does this like 3 out of 4 games, man. He goes to take the gold base 3 out of 4 times. He's just out there. Now the last time at Katowice, SERRAL countered this by playing a really slow macro. Just took the natural, droned up, took the third, but he just kept running banelings in from up here. So I think what REYNOR might do this time is either just have better overlord positioning, or he just walls off with an Evo chamber. You can put an Evo chamber there, and they can only run in from this side. Danger of doing that is if banelings come in from here, you've got nowhere to run with your drones. So I don't like putting the Evo chamber there except as an emergency measure, like a reactive Evo. So we'll see how it goes. SERRAL's already not putting an extra guy on gas. He's focusing on minerals. Ah, you can already see the defensive stance. Now, that spawning pool you can see ever so slightly feels like it changes the pathment of the drones, but I don't think there's any actual waiting time. Like, it feels like they're still instantly in, instantly out. Or not waiting time, but downtime. It feels like there's always a drone in the extractor, so I don't think that actually changes mining. If it does, it's so slight, I don't think it matters. And obviously that creates a nice little semi-wall he can plug a queen in. Drones rallying out. He's going to transfer these drones. Doesn't transfer them straight away. So he wanted to get enough drone minerals to start link speed, 2 queens, and only then transfer all the drones down. So you can tell REYNOR very calculated. He's done this many times. Now, REYNOR likes the opponent to attack into him with Ling Bane and just have a shit show, because REYNOR is one of the best chaotic micro players in the world, and he loves you're running in here with Ling Bane, he's running in here with Ling Bane. I mean, that's his favorite thing to do. He's like, heck yeah, let's dance, son. SERRAL, I think, is going to be wise, just macroing up here and not giving him that dance. That being said, REYNOR will put the aggression on this hatchery as well, because he will say, hey, the best defense is a good offense. Already 4 Zerglings here. Oh no, SERRAL. SERRAL's going to lose the hatch. Guys, I don't think he gets his lings down here in time. Yep, he cancels it immediately, realizing, oh, god damn it. Already a very good start for REYNOR. Now remember, SERRAL was way off in that last game. I actually didn't catch it, but people pointed out after that game that He built a spire, and then he built a second spire, and then canceled it when it was half done. Like, what the hell? So, and then he forgot his +1, he forgot his Hydra upgrades, and the second spire. These are all weird signs, and it's the thing is, guys, I think REYNOR has an ability to make SERRAL play below his level. SERRAL usually has better planning in their series. I think his builds are better for countering how REYNOR opens. I'm like, oh yeah, on the strategic level, this is good, but then he just misplays. And this is a very common pattern, and I don't like saying it, because, like, you know, I'm friends with SERRAL, and I hate being like, bro, you just always misplay versus REYNOR, you've got a mental block. It's not like a huge mental block, because he does beat REYNOR, right? He does beat him a fair amount of the time, but when he loses to him, I feel like he often loses from having the lead, and that is what makes it, that's what makes me say that. If he was just getting outplayed start to finish, it is what it is, right? But it's very rarely that. It's often leads that disappear. Ling's run into the Baneling and doesn't really find anything just yet. He's trying to hide 2 Zergs, so he's going to try and get some Baneling aggression going, but REYNOR's got a full gold base, and guys, that income tab, it was ahead for SERRAL when he transferred the drones, but it's going to be way ahead for REYNOR unless SERRAL can do something about it. Having that third hatchery cancelled is a bummer. He's going to go Evo into Roach Warren, work his way forward. Now, REYNOR off the gold base would love to just kill you with hatch tech. So you got to be really wary of SERRAL. He might just mass roaches off of this 2 gas and just go Roachling Bane and just rally and look to overwhelm. Oh, SERRAL does get a good hit there. A little slow to detonate, to be real, but I think he was expecting REYNOR to pull back, which is why he did react slightly slowly. Roach Warren on the way for REYNOR. He's got plenty of supply free, guys. Yeah, he's going to go for that attack. The Zerglings of SERRAL should see this. Yep, Roach Warren, 2 gas, no drones on the 3rd, and SERRAL should have a very simple time defending it, unless his Roach Horn just started. Okay, that's a pretty late Roach Horn. And he doesn't have a second gas. Oh, he's really late on gas. I think he has to cancel +1 range. He's already up 6 workers, so he's focusing on Zergling production for now. He's going to keep trying to do Baneling run bys, but notice REYNOR's had a good amount of vision seeing these coming in. Spinecrawler, and he's even built that Evo chamber. I think the guys can slide through the diagonal, but it's still something which at least will make it harder for the Banelings to get inside. And SERRAL's Roach Horn's pretty late. REYNOR, of course, having his build scouted, is no longer doing it, but he shows it. SERRAL's like, oh, it's coming, I gotta build roaches. Oh no, little does he know, REYNOR is already ahead on the workers. REYNOR has droned up, he only sees 2 here. REYNOR has way more workers than that, but it's just they've been taking the gas on the gold base. Banelings run in, don't do anything. Once again, the Banelings stopped there, the Zerglings stopped there, and it was a fake push. SERRAL goes back to drones, he's being tricked. He's built a bunch of queens, a whole lot of roaches here. He was up on 41 drones versus 34 before. Now he's down 5 to 10 workers. REYNOR once again takes disadvantage and turns it to advantage and says, yeah, you can take the income advantage for a few seconds. Bam, it's all me again, baby. And that gold base is getting way too much value. You cannot afford to be down in drones versus a guy with a gold base. I mean, what do? Your lair is just started as well as SERRAL? SERRAL is playing so reactively here, and REYNOR's playing him like a fiddle because REYNOR understands, hey, you saw my attack, change plans, go do the other thing. So he's getting SERRAL to overreact, and he's already 1 step ahead on everything. This is the agile and aggressive nature of REYNOR, where as long as he pays attention to what SERRAL scouted, he can read SERRAL's reaction and completely change his plan. It's that flexibility of REYNOR that allows him to gain these leads and do these abusive plays. He's gonna go forward to deny the gold base. He says, wait, you don't even have a 4th started yet? Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this one. He's got +1 roach speed, mass roaches. How do you defend this attack? Defender's advantage, concave, and honestly do nothing but build roaches. SERRAL cannot build a single drone in this game, and even then, he will have a lot of trouble defending the roach attack because of the gold base. This is going to be a big issue. Okay, Zergling's there. Zergling's run in, Spine hits it. Roach is over there as well, 60 drones for SERRAL. SERRAL built 5 more workers. Oh, guys, I said even if he didn't build a single more worker, he would struggle. Good surrounds, though. He gets a Ravager and a Roach. Oh, juicy pickups. Heck yeah, SERRAL. But REYNOR's not going to wait. REYNOR's just going to headbutt in anyway. The queens are here. Transfusers will be going down for SERRAL as he gets them, but he's just outnumbered, man. There's so many roaches here for REYNOR. The Ling's trying to distract the rally. There's just too many roaches. They've got roach speed in +1. Yes, SERRAL's +1 has kicked in. His roach speed has not. And look at this, just way too much of an advantage. And SERRAL misreading what was going on, playing way too safe in the response. And this all comes off the fact that his Roach Horn was a little bit late. If his Roach Horn was up early, I think he wouldn't have been so worried. But as it was, I actually would have loved to see him continue to build drones here. A few more Zerglings is fine, but if he built a handful more drones, he's already got way too much supply free, so he overbuilt Overlords. But if he builds like a bunch of drones, gets a third gas up right now as well, I think he'd be in a really good spot. As it is, he's so focused on defending what he assumes is a big Roach all-in, but you've got to sometimes, I think, read ahead and say, hey, if I scout Reynor's all-in, he's going to hold the drone key down. So I think as Serral, you need to mentally be prepared to say, you know what, I actually need to disrespect this push. When my Roach Horn finishes, I can build 8 Roaches to counter whatever 8 Roaches come. Otherwise, I should just be doing Lingbane backstabs and droning up like a mother trucker. Because look at the way Reynor pivots. Get scouted, Lair, Evo, 7 drones, 3rd Gas Geyser, Queen's killing Overlords. Still shows Roaches moving out, but it was 5 Roaches, guys. He's like, you know what, I've been scouted, we'll build 5 Roaches. We'll build literally like, hey, look, I have some Roaches. Meanwhile, Serral's investing in Ling Bane. He's pulling all of his queens to the front, so he's not injecting his natural. He's hitting a 74 supply block, and Reynor just builds a big lead for himself off of this. All right, let's go, guys. Down in the bottom right, we've got Kaiser Gaming's Reynor in the blue, Serral in the bottom left. It's Blackburn now, another gold-based map. Serral has obviously got to be thinking, is he going to take the gold base? Reynor over here. Are we going to send a drone to the gold base in just a moment? Are we? Are we? He's not sending a drone out. I think you need to send it about now if you want to go hatch first on the gold. So Reynor might just go normal hatch first. Serral is going normal hatch first. So yeah, both players just opening up with a standard base. No gold base abuse this time around. This looks pretty straightforward. No adjustments. No earlier gas timing for either player. Standard 17th drone builds the gas. 18th drone builds the spawning pool. And he's going to build it at the front to help deal with any potential spine crawler push. Is Reynor. Blocks those units from coming in. Serral just builds it over there as a kind of random scouting spawning pool. If any Zerglings do morph into Banelings secretly, it'll spot them coming in. Give him a few more seconds to react. Drone. All right. Okay, at this point in the series, guys, Serral is down 0-2. He's only got 2 lives to spare. How does he choose to play? I do feel like he's been a little too defensive. You know, I always say that. That's his strength, right? Same way I look at Hero and sometimes even Reynor, and I'm like, you guys are too aggressive. Calm down, transition earlier. So easy to shout that. The real difficulty in StarCraft when you're actually playing is finding that exact moment to bounce from defense into aggression, from aggression into macroing up and transitioning, right? Doing that it's much easier from the sidelines. I've got nothing I'm managing. I see everything. I've got 100% awareness. I'm like, yo, just attack more, bro. But I definitely do think there's something to be said of like at this point as Serral, 55 drone Roachnitis. I mean, it's Reynor. He hasn't played Mutas yet. It's only a matter of time. Will he play it on Blackburn? I'm not sure, but it might be. I mean, it's a good map for Nidus because this is just so far away for them to deal with, right? So that's a really good Nidus spot. Up here is not terrible. And if you're attacking at the third at the same time. So definitely it could be a good killing blow. It's something that Serral historically uses at least once in a final series whenever he is playing Reynor. That's why my favorite build off of a solid macro opening, because it's just like, hey, what's a way I can kill people who are being just a little bit too greedy? Ooh, Reynor wins the fight. That Zergling shoves the middle finger up over his shoulder and says, get some. Now, no snipe on the third base for either player. Of course, just losing one Zergling is not a big deal. Reynor gets another Zergling snipe. Chad Gamer Reynor, 2 for 0. Oof, Serral's got to be a little annoyed by that. His Baneling Nest is up just a second or so quicker. You can see players building it in the wall so that they can just finish that wall with an Evo chamber, add a Roach Horn in there, and then plug that gap. Queens are so chunky, very easy to plug the gap with a Queen. It's not like placing an Adept Pixel Perfect in a diagonal wall off. You can even have a 2-space wall off and the Queen can block that sometimes. She's a thick lass. Alright, can Reynor get in? Nope. Does see the Evo chamber at least. Both guys have got an Evo. This looks like the most stock standard Zerg vs Zerg I've ever seen. And Reynor, I mean, Reynor's got so much of an advantage. Just playing a completely standard game, yeah, it's not a bad way to go. And as I say it, nope, he's going Carapace Roach timing. If you play Carapace, you're usually going to go for a 45 drone Roach timing off probably 4 gases. So he'll probably take 2 gases down here just to kind of show what he's doing. He will build a Roach Warren here momentarily. That should be the next thing that he does. He's droning pretty hard for now, is Reynor. He's trying to show those drones on that base as well. SERRAL is half a cycle behind on the drones. He's built a Roach Warren earlier, and he's gone for the more standard +1 upgrade. Now, why would you go Carapace, guys? It's because if you go Carapace, it helps your Zerglings as well. And if you do a hatchery tech push, you're going to be reinforcing with Zerglings because they get across the map a lot quicker. The Carapace will cancel out the +1 range, so that rather than normally you get +1 range, bam, 2-shot those Zerglings, but not if you've got the Carapace. It'll cancel the upgrade out. Layers on the way, more drones. SERRAL's been trailing in the drone count, but now he catches up and he's going to overtake in the drones at just the wrong time. Right when Reynor's transitioning, SERRAL, he sees not that many drones. Oh, he should realize what's up here. Reynor reactively builds those drones. Those are fake drones that he's building, guys. He built those drones because the Zergling was there, and he's like, oh, make it look like I'm building workers. Make it look normal. Make it look normal. SERRAL, I mean, he's got to realize that's not that many workers, but because SERRAL's droning has been so conservative, I don't think he realizes. Because he's already building safety roaches himself, but Reynor's committing harder. He's building 12 roaches, SERRAL's only building 6, and now SERRAL doesn't have any vision. Oh, he needs to keep seeing what's up. Baneling sacrifices itself. That's a tell. That's a tell. You got to be building roaches. Do not build drones, SERRAL! You saw him blow up a Baneling on a Zergling. It's Reynor. That's not a mistake. Roaches on the way. Reynor is going for broke. He's going to be hitting a huge Carapace Roach Bane attack. SERRAL is starting a Spine Crawler, but he's been playing very scared. He was behind in drones the whole early game. Reynor had a much smoother play, and even though he went for the earlier Roach Warren and a handful of roaches earlier, he's only a handful, and then he went back to droning. He's up 3 workers. That should be a safe amount of workers to stop at. The thing that has me worried is just the fact that he was so slow to get to that unit count. The roaches are going to try and deal with the Banelings here. The Banelings of SERRAL should pull back. He needs to deal with the Zerglings with those Banelings. He does detonate some of Reynor's Banes. Nice spready against the Banes. It looks like he does hold on and defend. I was worried for SERRAL here because it just felt like he was unnecessarily behind in that early game, but he defends, he crushes it. He has a lair. He's not going roach speed though. There we go. Roach speed finally here. He's going to think about counterattacking. I think as SERRAL, 100% after this sort of attack, you need to move across the map, let them see you moving across, and then pull back. But SERRAL, he's always a very paranoid player, so he's pulling back here. And because of this, Reynor's just going to pivot. He just drops the Spire, roach speed, +2. He's not really far behind in the workers. His roach count is way behind, guys. He has 9 roaches, 1 Ravager. SERRAL has 21 roaches. So right now, you got to say, if he moves across with his roaches, Reynor would have to mass roaches, right? But what SERRAL's scared of is the Zerglings. Now, what SERRAL should remember is he has #1 Baneling tech, and he saw with his Overlords that the Zerglings ran home. So he should have counterpushed and forced Reynor to be a bit more afraid and panicky. But as it is, I'm actually an idiot. That's SERRAL's Spire. Never mind, guys. I'm a baboon. As it is, Reynor's playing roaches. It's fine. I'm actually good at reading colors. Never mind, guys. Flip the scoreboard, flip the scoreboard, flip the scoreboard. Let's try and get you guys half as confused as I am right now. Spire is going to finish. So, okay, SERRAL's all right. He's got the gold base up right now. Equal workers. It was him who was ahead on roaches the whole time. At least that it was correct. One thing I said was correct, guys. I don't know if he knows about those Zerglings. That is a big Zergling count. Overseer's coming in. Doesn't really see too much. I mean, there isn't much to see. It's just roaches, right? Now, the difference between this game and 2000 Atmospheres is SERRAL has his upgrades. So if he just goes back into Mass Roach, which he's doing here, then he'll be in a really good spot. He lets the Changeling in. Bit sloppy for SERRAL. Finally catches that one. And look at these Zerglings. They're just biding their time. Guys, SERRAL does not know they're up there. And he's going to go for a Roach attack behind the Muters. These Lings are going to run in and kill this whole mineral line and maybe some of those drones as well. It's a 66 drone Roach all in with +2 attack that's going to hit in 35-40 seconds. Reynor does not have those upgrades. He's starting +2, Burrow, Hydroden, Spores, all these fancy things to help deal with the Muters. Those are not going to deal with the giant Roach attack coming in here. And if SERRAL can even just deny the gold minerals a little bit, that will be huge. No Ravages right now for SERRAL. Reynor biding his time on those Zerglings. I love the patience. If he waits till SERRAL's maxed and SERRAL's units are all on his side of the map, it could be huge. The Muters come in and getting some units. One of them goes down. The Lings are going to go for broke. As I said, he's going to split those Lings up into the bases, guys. Oh, and he piled down all the Muters. He just killed all of SERRAL's mutas with corrosive bile. He just got 3 more of them. The queen's killed 1. There's only 3 Mutalisks left. REYNOR pulls off the big dick play right there. The Ravager does take out a bunch of drones though, so REYNOR does lose his economy. The Zerglings finally go down, but this Zergling distraction was legendary, mate. This one Ravager's gonna try and intercept those Zerglings. Maulings still running around being a nuisance. SERRAL's like, leave, dude. SERRAL's maxed out. He could kill REYNOR right now. But REYNOR is buying time with a handful of Zerglings, and because of that, he's gonna have time to max out. REYNOR was down 30 supply, 15 roaches, but the Zerglings are being such cheeky dickheads, and he's not done yet. REYNOR Zerglings, a thing of legend. SERRAL Zerglings might be good at scoutings, but REYNOR Zerglings are good at being dickheads and biting things. The Roach Ravager coming forward. The Hydras are coming out as well. Lurker Den's on the way. REYNOR is just trying to survive and hang on. If he can keep that 4th up, he'll be happy. Of course, SERRAL has more income with his gold base, but he's not really droning. It feels like SERRAL is very all in. He's adding Carapace, the queens. Ooh, okay, good queen block. Good queen block. Does defend the Baneling run by. But guys, there's no tech progression. We've got lurkers, and I believe an infestation pit got made as well for REYNOR. REYNOR is obviously only on 3 base versus 4, but he's up 3 workers. He's catching up on the attack upgrade, which means with his carapace, he's slightly ahead. He's got lurkers out. He's doing a burrow roach run by. Oh, burrow roaches. Oh, once again, I talked earlier about how if you get caught when you're maxed out with all your army on the other side of the map, it can be devastating. And REYNOR diving in with burrowed roaches. Even roaches up here denying the gold base. He's killing everything right now. He's going to unburrow in the 3rd as well. This is a huge problem for SERRAL, who's just getting annihilated. He's building 2 infestation pits right now. REYNOR is all over him, swarming over the Finnish player. The Finnish player is just on the back foot now, trying to defend the lurkers at the front. He can't stand there. He tries to take him out. He does kill 1 lurker, not quite able to bile the other. Those roaches could unburrow at any moment. These roaches completely denying the mining in the natural and the main. Roaches in the 3rd could unburrow at any moment. Roaches at the gold burrow. They can poke their ugly heads up at any point. SERRAL down to 32 workers. SERRAL is all in, guys. He's replaced everything with roaches, and this means he has piss all economy and no supply to rebuild it. He's going to try and break the lurkers potentially, but every shot they get off is huge, and REYNOR continuing to reinforce the lurkers. The roaches are out front, burrow the lurkers, and REYNOR, this is an unassailable position. Yes, 2 lurkers go down, but there's a lot of roaches taking damage from those lurker spines, and the lurkers just keep on burrowing, focusing down his workers over and over. REYNOR is just ransacking the economy of SERRAL. SERRAL not able to do it, man. And this is, okay, wait, maybe, he's got a giant army, but the advantage is plummeting. You can see his army supply as he takes the lurker hits, it's disappearing, and SERRAL unable to break out. Oh, my lord. That was brutal, man. Well played by REYNOR there. Just great Ling run buys. And then let's go back and catch those mutas getting caught. It was like 8 minutes or something, right? 9 minutes maybe? Oh, man. Where were these mutas? Okay, a little bit earlier. Oh, 4 Mutalisks in one go there. Let's watch that one more time. It just rewound 40 seconds. Normally it goes back 10 seconds. Oh, my God. So his Lings are running into the base. REYNOR's like, take the bait, take the bait. Notice he hold positions so that the mutas don't automatically chase the units. That was a lovely play there by REYNOR. These mutas would have been a renewable resource, a great tool that he could have kept using in this game to harass, like in the 2K game. But that was massive. REYNOR doing a fantastic job. And remember, SERRAL kind of like maxed out here for a little bit afterwards. REYNOR's investing in all of this tech, drones, upgrades, and he gets away with it because the Lings just didn't stop doing run buys. That is such good play by REYNOR to keep SERRAL on the back foot, and he's on 3-0 advantage. On the verge of making history right now, a 4-0 over SERRAL, something which only Rogue has done historically. This would be absolutely wild. In the top right, he spent the weeks leading up to this off-racing Terran and Protoss in both tournaments and ladder for his practice. The wild man that he is, just enjoying the flow of the game. So darn talented, so darn gifted. This is Kaisi Gaming's REYNOR in the top right. SERRAL in the bottom left. This is where, of course, he has the chance for the most epic comeback of all time. I don't think anyone's ever reversaled REYNOR before, but SERRAL, this is where he's got to show what he's made of. This is where he's got to show what he can do. I would love to see SERRAL play straight mutas, man. Like, off not a roach opening, play muta, like upgraded lings into mutas. I know that stuff's completely out of SERRAL's wheelhouse, but personally, I feel like it would make him so much more dangerous as a player. Of course, REYNOR, known for his different roach bane attacks that he's been threatening with all series long, even went for it and committed to it in that last game. So definitely something where going mutas is scary against REYNOR. REYNOR's historically the one who will go for it. This is Glittering Ashes. If there's ever a map where one player is going to play like mutas, this is probably going to be it. Mutaling Baneling is an amazing style. So powerful just for running in and hitting their economy with Banelings, mutas flying around and massing up. I've told the people on my stream a few times how after SERRAL won Katowice and ran into him later that evening, and I was kind of making fun of him playing Corruptors versus mutas. I think it was on this exact map. No, it was Hardwire. It was Hardwire. And I was like, dude, stop playing Corruptors versus mutas. They're so bad. And he was like, dude, they're actually really good. The mistake I made in that game, and for anyone who remembers that, this was Grand Finals game 4 or 5, I think. I can't quite remember. But it was the Hardwire map. He went for a Corruptor push and just overextended. And the moment you lose that fight, you lose everything on the retreat. Like, you can't retreat. And then he lost the game. And he actually said, look, you know, you can't necessarily kill the muta player with the Corruptors, but it forces them to build a shitload of stuff. They can't drone too hard. And then you can threaten the push, but you don't actually commit to it. And you basically just transition up to Hive. And then you just, you know, trade out your Corruptors over time, swap into Lurkers and Vipers and play a normal game. I always thought of it as like Roach Corruptor is an all-in. But it was interesting to hear that perspective. As always, I think the best way to get information from pro gamers is to shit talk their builds. And very lucky to be at these events live. And I don't do it to losers. I do it to winners, though. I'll be like, man, your build on that game was pretty stupid. Hey, good thing you won the whole tournament. But seriously, bro, that's where no secrets get held back. You just got to put their ego on the line and tell them they're playing the game wrong. And you will very quickly get a pro gamer to explain why you're an idiot. And it's always a learning experience. It's always a learning experience. Now, SERRAL does poke across. REYNOR doing the same thing with 2 Zerglings. We've got Baneling Nests on both sides of the map. Very standard opening for them. SERRAL's going to go quick third queen. That allows him to inject and then pull this queen to the front. So, yeah, nicely done. And he's already got the Baneling Nest on the side. REYNOR going for the center Baneling Nest. Zerglings off on the left. 10 Zerglings coming in as well. So he's going to do a 12 Zergling 2 Baneling pressure, maybe by the looks of it, as REYNOR. SERRAL here is like, okay. You'll see these Zerglings on the right. These are the distraction lings, I think. Baneling Nest finishes, and Banelings morph. Evo chamber behind it, so REYNOR is just going to play a standard game afterwards. But, of course, SERRAL in the more defensive stance with the third queen. We'll put a tumor down soon. And hopefully not surprised by these Banelings coming in from the left side. Zerglings coming on forward. We've got Zerglings on the right as well. Zerglings there. Here comes the Link Bane pressure. Oh, he did morph 2 Banelings on the bottom right as well. Okay, very cute. Banelings coming in from both sides. Oh, the Banelings aren't quite there for SERRAL. Just a few seconds late on his Baneling morph, and he does lose a queen for that, but you know what? Oh, REYNOR gets 3 Zerglings for a Baneling, which isn't even trade. But SERRAL pulls back to the choke point. That queen needs to pull back a little bit. Ooh, you don't want to lose all your queens here. That's the defense. Oh no, he didn't micro back either of those queens. Oh, that's really bad for SERRAL. This is so bad because now he's so busy just trying to survive. He has to build mass Zerglings. REYNOR's just droning. REYNOR doesn't care. REYNOR's going to have like a handful of Zerglings and that's it. Looks like SERRAL ran his Zergling in and lost it. Ah, very nice fight, dude. Killing all of your opponent's queens. No injects going down right now. Ooh, big mistake for SERRAL to just be... I don't know if his Baneling Nest was late or he just reacted slow on the morph. But he also didn't... The fact that he let Zerglings morph secretly right next to his third and his natural tells us that his Zergling scouting was not that good. You should always be checking to make sure they're not morphing those forward Banes. And REYNOR also, notice he's moved beyond the Overlord, so he's going to shoo it, shepherd it in. But SERRAL notices it is like, oh crap, run, 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 run. Pull this Overlord out of there. So if he runs the Overlord, he might get it away, but I don't think so. Not being on creep. And REYNOR going to keep scouting. REYNOR's on 50 drones. SERRAL's going to play +1 melee. I said, wouldn't SERRAL be so much more dangerous if he plays melee into mutas? Oh my god. SERRAL, you genius. You're doing what Pig said. Now make it look good. Make me look good. Now make me look good, baby girl. All right, he is down on workers versus REYNOR, which is not great. I mean, obviously the start was kind of shit, losing 3 queens, but definitely it's a good way of going about it on such a big map. Got great dead space all around on the edges. It's a really good way of doing it. Lings and Banes running around. Oh, 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 ow. Oh, nice micro from REYNOR, picking off some Banes here, there. And REYNOR's going for a pretty late lair in comparison. Ling sees plenty of drones on this base, though. So I think SERRAL should feel pretty safe. He's got that Spire in the way. I like that he built 3 roaches, guys. This is the... I'm totally playing roaches. Hey, REYNOR, look at me. I have roaches. They're real. Look, they're real roaches for sure. They're definitely real. I'm a roach player. That's exactly what these are. He wants REYNOR to think that he's playing roaches when in fact he's going pure Mutilating Bane. He's making roach speed, which I think is just to show the roach horn upgrading. I mean, I guess you could let the upgrade finish, but you really would rather that gas for mutas. So I think you cancel that a bit later. Melee has now kicked in. He's building a few more Zerglings. Is SERRAL. Of course, his lava is back on point after injecting for the last few minutes. Roach is coming across the map. He's building 5 roaches reactively, but that's his lava right before Muta's tech is finished. And REYNOR's actually going Spire as well right now, so I think REYNOR might have a pretty good read of what's going on, especially now seeing the +1 melee. And the Overseer coming in through, he's going to realize what he's up against very quickly. Yeah, he sees Zerglings popping out with his Overseer. That's all he needs to see. So REYNOR should realize what's up. SERRAL's going +2 melee. Now, in the past, I've been highly critical of SERRAL's Muta play because he does it so rarely, and I think he misses on a lot of the details. His 8 Mutas are finally on the way here at 7 minutes, and they will be very effective. He wants to just keep backstabbing with Lings. If he can get on the 4th base, that's the goal. Run in the natural with some Lings and hit the 4th with some other Lings will be fantastic. His Mutas are going to need to start cleaning things up. Over at the 4th base, his Roaches should be able to defend, but his Hatchery taking a lot of damage. Drones open on this base. Should be at least a couple worker kills here for SERRAL. Nice catch. REYNOR, undefended base for a moment. The Roach is out of position. 4 drones do fall. The Mutas are now out on the map. And indeed, it looks like we might see a bit of a role reversal, guys. +1 range is on the way. And 9 Corruptors with such a delayed Spire. So SERRAL is going to be going up against the Corruptor play. Last time around, he messed up the Corruptor play versus REYNOR's Mutas. Let's see what happens when they reverse it. Can REYNOR show him how it's done and get the 4-0? Or is SERRAL going to be able to do it? +2 melee, Bane speed, +1, great upgrades. He's going 8 more workers. SERRAL playing incredibly high on the workers. He needs to get these gases mining ASAP and just max out his Muta production. Banelings are not important at all in this scenario. It's all about Ling backstabs. You don't want to fight him front on, but you always just want to have Lings ready on the edges to counter. Because the scary thing is REYNOR's frontal push. That's what you've really got to respect. And here it comes. He's going to lose some overlords. He's supply blocked right now. Uh-oh, that ain't good for SERRAL. The Muta's dancing around, trying to pick some units off. Corruptors, though, picking off Overlords and Overseers all over the map. He's going to have to build plenty of Overlords, which he is doing. He's got a few Roaches of his own. He did cancel Roach speed. He's built 8 Roaches, not the best units here. And his Lings are not counterattacking, guys. It's wide open on the run by other than 1 or 2 Banes. But SERRAL here, that supply block was huge. He does not have the Mutas to take this fight yet. The Corruptors here doing good micro for REYNOR. He's going to stutter step. You do not want to fight with your Mutas right here. The Queens help out, maybe. There we go. 2 Queens come forward. Remember, he's got like 10, 12 Mutas popping at the moment. He needs to buy time for that Muta count to grow. The supply block was deadly. Finally, his Lings run in, but so late. SERRAL, like I said, you've got to be ready to pounce in case he pushes you, whether it's a Roach push or a Corruptor push. SERRAL a little bit slow on that. The Mutas are coming forward. They're going to try and overwhelm these Corruptors, but there's so many Corruptors, and REYNOR's Queens are even adding in some damage. They'll be able to transfuse once they get on creep. SERRAL has to give up this base. Lings going around. He did ransack the 4th, but the Roach Rally will defend the 3rd base. And SERRAL, did he drone too hard in this game? I think he did, guys. He did not keep his Muta production up. He tried to go all the way to 85 drones. Really good way to do it when you're up against a Viper, Lurker, Hive player, but against a Corruptor player might give enough room for the Roaches to get in and do the damage. You can see those spines going down. The Mutas are trying to help out on the ground, but there's equal Corruptor to Muta count, and that is terrible for Mutas. Corruptors are so much tankier. They take so long to die. The Lings have been cleaned up on REYNOR's 4th. REYNOR doesn't even need the 4th. It's not that important. The choke point on the natural. Oh, he plugs the gap with a Ravager. REYNOR used the Ravager in the wall. SERRAL has to tap out, and REYNOR, doing the unthinkable, gets the 4-0. SERRAL supply blocked at the worst time, going 5 bases and 85 drones at the worst possible time, and he gets completely caught out. Oh man, that supply block was nasty, guys. That was a real nasty supply block. And like I said, 85 workers, man, taking all these gases, all these hatcheries. If he was just holding the Muta key down, I think maybe he could have done it. But he just went a bit too high. His Lings and Roaches. His Lings should have been cutting around here and trying to base rate. He just didn't have enough Zerglings or Mutas forward on the map to really do anything. Whereas if he has Lings already hitting you, you know, it just makes it harder to rally. You can avoid these roaches, go into this base. You can really do a lot to pick off the queens. If your Zerglings surround those queens, they're easy pickoffs. And the thing is, he's got 16 mutas. Imagine if he has 25 mutas here. Because he's got 9 mutas building, but they're so delayed because of the supply block. If he has 25 mutas versus 12 corruptors, you can just jump on these corruptors and kill them. But instead, the corruptors are able to start killing the mutas 1 at a time, 2 at a time, take these really nice trades. 2 mutas for a corruptor, I'll take that trade any day. 3rd muta, 4th muta for another corruptor, 5 mutas for 2 corruptors. And already you're losing the critical mass of muta damage. Oh, another one? And look at the way he kites REYNOR with some fantastic corruptor micro. Really nice push. We talked about how the all-in push isn't really necessarily the right play. They can stop it usually. But REYNOR just hit this confidently, hit this crisply. And he said, apparently in the interview after this series, I feel like SERRAL was trying to play like I do in this series. But I'm the only one who can play like me. No one can do it as well as me. And that is, of course, the most REYNOR thing ever to say. REYNOR, always cocky, always funny, and always throwing out a bit of attitude there. Getting a 4-0 over SERRAL, rightfully, should be very proud of that. Bloody well played by REYNOR, and a fantastic win in the King of Battles.